Crystal Exarch is eager for you to meet with Alisaie. Ready to depart for Amarang. Alisaie will be overjoyed to see you safe. I know she was particularly concerned for your well-being. She, impressed upon me how regrettable the timing of her summoning was, repeatedly. I only hope that my part in sending you to her will garner me some measure of forgiveness. Here, this is a letter of introduction addressed to a man named Cassard, the master of a merchant caravan. There are few who know the ways of the desert as well as he does. Find him at the Amaro launch, and he will see that you reach your destination. If you're looking for work, I might have a spot for another guard. No, I've got a letter. Oh, a friend of the Exarch. Hoping to meet someone on Amarang, are you? I should be your guide. I was about to set off our outpost there, as a matter of fact, so we can leave right away, assuming you have everything you need. All set? Then off the unforgiving sands we go. You now travel to Amarang. Speak with the adroit Amaro tamer to fly to the desert.
Amarang. From this parched earth, the nation of Nabath, Arang once rose. When I journeyed here, long ago, I spoke with a sun-weathered elder. He told me Amarang meant majestic land in the language of his people. And so it might still be, were it not for the light's unrelenting onslaught.
Oof, no matter how many times I come here, the cold never fails to catch me off guard. The sky may be as bright as in the scorching hours of day, but it gets brisk enough to make you shiver. Now, the Exarch's letter said I was to take you to the inn at Journey's Head, which is where this Alisaie friend of yours is staying. But that's a fair old distance, so I propose we make a stop in Morsuk to break up the trek, allowing me to attend to some business and you to enjoy the local hospitality. Sound good? Good. Alright, you lot, I'm off. And I better not see the goods covered in sand when I get back. Right, we head southwest, straight as an arrow. Stop here a moment. This is your first visit to Amarang, is it not? Before you cross the river of sand, you need to turn around and feast your eyes on that. Feast your eyes on that. They built them big, didn't they? That's Casa Charles, a fortress meant to protect the northern reaches of Nabatharang. Seeing what was left behind, I believe it when they say that it was once one of Norvrant's mightiest nations. At least until the flood came along. Great chunks of Nabatharang's lands were lost to the light, its great city included. The few who survived didn't see much point in staying, most of them anyway. No, not many choose to come here these days, now with everything in ruins. Even that hulking great fortress has become little more than an Amaro roost for me and my caravan. But not everywhere is as deserted as this place. Just wait until you see Morsuk. Let's press on, shall we? Here we are, Morsuk. By the blessed shadow, I love this town. Morsuk, not just full of Mord, but Humes and all manner of others, too. It has long been a refuge for folk displaced by the flood, so the population is nothing if not diverse. Oh, have you met a Mord before? They might look like shifty little blighters, but a more welcoming lot you could never wish to meet. Speaking of which, we should pay respects to Master Gengen. I'll go ahead and get him and let him know we've arrived. That's a kobold!
Master Gengen, this is the friend of the Exarch I was telling you about.
Very good, very good. Though friend or no, all are welcome in Mordsook.
Souk is Mordish for city. As things stand, this souk boasts the largest and busiest marketplace in all Armorang. You'll find ore from the mines here, of course, but all manner of other things too, many of them rare. As I told you before, not many visit Armorang by choice, but Mordsook's a different story. Merchants come from miles around to purchase the relics the Mord dig up.
Aye, that they do. For Mord do not dismiss the spoils of the earth. We clean them and polish them and reveal to the world their true value. That is why they come here, come from far away, come with much money. And so our souk is always busy, busy, busy. No such thing as a thing no one needs.
You say that every time, Master Gengen. Some sort of family motto, wasn't it? Or perhaps a Mord philosophy, for which we should all be very grateful. Would that everyone was so willing to take in refugees regardless of race or creed. Now then, if you intend to spend any time here, you'll want to gain the trust of the locals. And there's a little custom all newcomers are expected to observe.
The cracking of the coin purse. You buy one thing from the market. Price can be low or high, just as long as you buy.
As the good Mord says. In fact, the Exarch sent a little something to cover this very expense. A Verbert gold piece, no less. The first I've held in years.
Verbert gold? Real Verbert gold?
Here, newcomer, crack your coin purse with me.
Oh no, you want my goods, newcomer. I have jars and pots all smooth and shiny.
Over here!
Come and look.
You buy, you buy.
Enough of that! Calm, I say! This one must still journey through the barrels. Nothing bulky, nothing heavy, no pots. Nothing better for the road than a full belly. Spend that piece at Ronron's place, yes? Eat for 3 before you leave.
Welcome to Ronron's, traveler. I have wares to empty your purse and fill your belly. Take your time, stare and sniff before you choose, but no drooling on the merchandise, yes? Browse Ronron's wares. You may move the camera as well as zoom in and out. Target a food stuff and inspect it with left mouse button. Okay. Meats. That's my ever-burning bounty, made with the best parts of the lizard. Cured with special spicy spices. Some find the smell challenging, but it'll warm you up on chilly desert nights. I call that mush loaf. The middle is stuffed with bittersweet cactus fruit, so even if the bread dries out, it's still moist inside. Keeps you going in the heat. Everyone's favorite. Plump white worms slathered in honey. Once you eat a glazed wriggler, you'll never want any other treat. Oh, you like those. It's chewy skewers. Find small frogs hiding under rocks, spear with stick, then roast over fire. Crackly on the outside, gooey on the inside. Perfect for snacking. They all look tasty, yes? Which to choose? Which to choose? Yes, put some nice spice in your step. You won't feel the cold this night, and probably not the next one either. You have the gold? And done! 1 Vorbertite honor buys you 10 sides of lizard meat. What an appetite! What a belly! A new legend is born in Mordsuk. Consider your coin purse cracked. I am pleased to accept your custom, and Gengen will be pleased that you honored ours. Keeping the merchandise down, yes? No returns! I was watching from here! You honor our custom, and with great relish. You'll always be welcome in Mordsuk. If you need anything in Amarang, we are here to provide. You have courage, my friend. Ronron's wares are more exotic than harmful, but I don't envy you the bellyache you'll have on the morrow. Right, now that you've eaten, I expect you're eager to get back on the road. Would you mind if we delayed our departure a touch? I have a few deals left to close before I can conclude my business here in Mordsuk. Oh, offering your services, are you? Aye, well, an assistant would certainly help hurry things along. I have a receipt here for some goods that need picking up from the market. All properly paid for. You just need to do the lifting and carrying. I'll go and take care of some last-minute haggling then. See you in a bit. You may view the market receipt at any time during this quest by using the relevant item in the key items menu. How many times do you think I'm gonna click these sparklies until I actually check? Sarsench, did he? Right, yes. What kind of door was it again? Oh, shit! Damn it. Yes, wait, no, are you sure? You don't seem to have any on hand. Okay, game. Table cactus, iron ore, a Botherang antiques. It was iron ore. Iron ore, of course. That would explain this box I have here. It's all yours. Right, so... this is what we're doing. Table cactus from Tauntaun and the Botherang antiques from Mill Mill. Let's have the Warrior of Light do some shopping, but let's make it tedious. Tauntaun, alright, you had table cactus? You came in with a Cassard, yes? Good, good. I can finally stop thinking about that sack. Please take your prickly purchase. Oh, it wasn't a quiz this time. Hey, no touching! That merchandise is spoken for. You can possibly change my mind with a better offer. What? Cassard sent you? Why didn't you say so? I wouldn't dream of selling his goods to a higher bidder. No, 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 no. Nabothering relics, was it? Wasn't it? All packed in that box there. Handle with care. Can't believe they quizzed me. Which thing should you be clicking right now? No? No? Yes. But which one of 3? Let's see if I save the world again. Don't tell me you've been round the entire market already. Aye, that's the lot, all right. Good work. And quick work, too, considering you've not set foot in the place before. I thought you wanted to sit in the city like the Exarch, but something tells me you're not a stranger to visiting strange lands. Unfortunately, your efficiency presents something of a problem. I'd hoped to conclude all my business before you return, but it seems there's been some confusion over one of the orders I placed. I'll have to drag in my middleman and sort this out. I'm sorry to make you sit around and twiddle your thumbs. Cassard, it feels like an age since I last saw you. Well, if it isn't the lovely Tisleen. It's been a while, but your timing couldn't be better. This lady was on her way to meet with Alisaie. I'm supposed to be taking her to your corner of the desert, but a misplaced order has commandeered my attention. Wait, I know who you are. Alisaie has told me so much about you. You're Fadewin, aren't you? I knew it! How wonderful to meet you in the flesh after hearing all those stories. I'm Tisleen. I work as a carer at the inn, and I've gotten to know Alisaie quite well since she took up guard duties there. Do you want me to take over as Fadewin's guide, Cassard? My shopping's all done and packed for the road, so it would be no trouble. That would be a great help, thank you. Well, it looks like you'll be able to head straight out after all. My caravan and I will be in the area for a while yet. Seek me out when you've had your fill of Amarang, and I'll send you back to the Crystarium. Alisaie has been desperate to see you, Fadewin, so let's get you to her sooner rather than later. The inn isn't too hard to find, really. You can actually see the top of the rock spires from here. We just need to swing around the ridge, then head south. Come on, I'll get my supplies together and meet you outside. All set? Oh, I should probably mention the wildlife. While most of them will leave you be if you keep your distance, the local coyotes have learned to prey on folk heading home from the markets. I can usually swing a sword well enough to fend them off, but I have loaded myself down with too many bargains today. Do you think you can handle any beasts that try to make a meal of us? I thought you might. Alisaie was always saying how much you... I mean, let's get going, shall we? What did she say? What did she say about me? You must not know about me. Oh, Tisleen, see, there's your problem right there. You stood in this purple circle of battles. If you would have just avoided that. Common mistake. Sorry, there wasn't much time to shadow warning. Were you bitten? Those things can be nasty. And yet hardly a match for you, it seems. I always thought Alisaie was strong, but in her mind, she was never... Now it makes sense. But we should push on. It might be best if we scout ahead and clear out any coyotes that have our scent. I'll wait here so you can fight without any distractions. Oh, thank goodness you're back. I couldn't hear the howling. I could hear the howling and snarling from here. Dreadful creatures. Let's hope the rest have seen your handiwork and know to avoid us now. I need to get these supplies back to the inn. This is it. Thanks to you, I didn't have to drop my shopping even once. Come to think of it, I'm glad I didn't make the trip alone. It seems you ended up escorting me. I have to repay the favor somehow, but first let's head inside, shall we? Welcome to the inn at Journey's Head. You might be our first visitor from the Crystarium since Alisaie arrived. It's not much, but it's home for the afflicted and a handful of carers. You don't know? I don't think I've met anyone besides Alisaie who is so unfamiliar with our situation here. Those folk have grown up knowing someone who knew someone. I might leave out something obvious, so it may be best to have Alisaie give you the full explanation. Now, where is she? I think she might be out on patrol. You could wait, I suppose, but why not go and surprise her? She usually takes a look at things from the watchtower first, so you might be able to catch her there. It's not far. Head out to the south side and you'll soon see it. I'll stay behind in case she comes back while you're gone. Alisaie is nowhere to be seen, but you spot fresh footprints on the ground, and they look to be about the right size. The small footprints lead off to the northwest. The footprints continue on to the northwest. Footprints curve around to the west. There are more tracks here, but they end in a mess of disturbed sand.
Get back here! Is that... It can't be.
Just a lesser sin eater. Nothing to write home about. I knew you'd turn up sooner or later, but I had been hoping for sooner. How are you? We've fought them to a standstill, then. The Exarch did say that the Empire seemed to have drawn back when he last looked in on the source. But without knowing for sure how fast time was passing there, I couldn't help worrying that a lot might have happened since then. I'm heartily relieved to hear that it hasn't, just as Alphino must have been. As you can imagine, both he and Urianger were desperate to hear the news from home when I arrived. I haven't actually seen Thancred and Y'shtola yet, but they will have heard all the latest developments from the Exarch by now, or should have at least. When I think of how frantic Tataru and the others must be, I want nothing more than to rush back and reassure them. But we still haven't found a way to reverse the summoning. And even if we had, we couldn't just ignore Urianger's vision. He may use 10 words where 1 would suffice, and they may often obscure as much as they reveal. But on this matter, he was as clear as day. I do not doubt for one moment that he saw what he claims. nor how difficult it must have been to speak about them. The 8th Umbral Calamity and your death aren't exactly topics for idle conversation. As much as I might want to go home, I don't want to go home to that. We can't allow the rejoining to happen, which means we have to save the first from the Sin Eaters. That great wall of white is a remnant of the Flood. 100 years ago, the balance in the First tipped decisively in favor of light. From that moment, it rose and swelled with each passing day, and then, without warning, it burst forth like water from a broken dam. A colossal wave of pure light, drowning everything in its wake. Only Norvrant was spared. For the most part, living things are composed of ether of various different aspects. But when exposed to such a flood, their etheric harmony is shattered, and their natural form breaks down. Then they either perish, or are warped into mindless abominations. Yes, that's how the Sin Eaters came to be. They were once living creatures, or people, that were caught in the path of the Flood. Once the change is wrought, there is no going back. In that instant, they are gripped by an insatiable appetite for ether, and will happily gorge themselves on any living thing within reach. But even that is not the worst of it. The stronger Sin Eaters can plant light in us, like seeds in soil, corrupting our ether and triggering the birth of new monstrosities. They are creatures of base instinct that exist only to feed and to multiply. They feel no pity, know no remorse, and are utterly deaf to reason, which is why they must be destroyed. Every last one of them. The infirmary is full of the Sin Eaters' victims, left here to spend their final hours waiting for the change to overtake them.
Just a matter of time, more for some, less for others. Those patients will all become monsters in the end, and to add insult to injury, the afflicted are feared, shunned, cast out of society, and exiled here to the edge of the world. The only good thing I have to say about this hellish place is that it has served me well as a training ground. Tisleen and the others have also been kind enough to share their knowledge of the Sin Eaters, which is knowledge I can now share with you, while you help me finish my patrol, of course. Here's what we'll do. I'll take the east side of the inn, and you clear the west. That way you can have an undiluted experience with the resident terrors. These marks on your map are where the usual trouble spots are. You can assume that any beast with a white hide or carapace is a Sin Eater, but you'll know for sure soon enough when they come slavering at your aether. Remembering, it's kill or be killed with these monsters. Once you've slain whatever's prowling around out there, we can rendezvous back at the north entrance. Good hunting. Oh, that was ready to fight. How did you fare? I thought there might be one or two lurking on the fringes. Nothing out of the ordinary for this area. I expect you noticed it yourself, but individually, these lesser sin eaters are no more deadly than any natural predator you might encounter in the desert. It's when they appear in numbers that they most pose a threat. Much like the void scent, they have an unfortunate tendency to flock to the strongest of their kind. Thus, when a powerful sin eater goes on a hunt, it might be attended by a veritable swarm of weaker kin. Imagine an army of such creatures descending on a village or hamlet. That's the basic idea behind my patrols, to cull their ranks often enough that their numbers won't be overwhelming when the big ones come out to play. You certainly helped on that front. Let's report our victories to Teslin, shall we? Alisaie tells me you helped out on a patrol. You have our thanks, and my apologies for leading you from one battle to another ever since the moment we met. In any case, I'm glad to see the two of you found each other. You have no idea how badly Alisaie has missed your company. Everything is always, if Faedwin were here, she would... That's an exaggeration. And I don't sound like that either. I was simply trying to view matters from another perspective, and I respect Faedwin's methods. Honestly, after seeing her in action, I can understand why. The way she leaps into the fray without hesitation, it really is something to behold. I might be a little smitten myself. I'm only teasing, though I've no doubt she deserves all the admiration she gets, just as you do. I'd love to lay out a welcome meal, but the duties I put off when I went to the market are still waiting for me. There are 101 things that need doing. I'm sorry, would you mind waiting here with Alisaie? What, and twiddle our thumbs while you work yourself to death? Surely there's something we can help you with. I could do with a hand, it's true. Thank you. You can start by helping me sort out the larder, Alisaie. While we do that, could you tend to a few patients, perhaps? Perhaps? Perhaps. There are 3 in particular that I meant to visit. Just a matter of saying a few words to them and seeing that their skin isn't caked in sand. The names are Pauno, Todden, and Halric. They may not give much in the way of response, but I promise I'd be pleased to see someone new. Thank you. Todden glances up at you blankly, but you notice the tension in his face ease slightly. Halric remains utterly still as you wipe the sand from his cheek. The texture of his skin has hardened into something akin to plaster. You've seen to the patients. How were they? Good, that's good. I knew they would enjoy meeting you. I'm concerned about Halric, though. I'll have to speak with the other carers, but I think his time may be near. We shall leave you to have that discussion then. I was going to take Faedwin to Mordsuk if you have any errands that need doing. Well, I suppose there is one thing. Would you pick up a nectarine from the markets, please? Cassard's caravan just passed through, so Ron should have some fresh fruit. Come then, Alan. Come then, Faedwin. There's something I want you to see, right after we stop at Ronron's stall, of course. Oh, back again, are you? You need another taste of Ronron's wares? Actually, we were looking to buy a nectarine. Do you have any in stock? Oh yes, nectarines, peaches, grapes, fresh and juicy, and something else that I clicked through. Sorry about that. Gods, I've never seen a mode merchant give away something for nothing before. How much coin did you spend here? Oh yes, I'll take a jar of honeyed worms as well. Hmm? Oh no, they're not for me. It's an offering of sorts. The worms, if you please. Only the best wrigglers for you. Come again, my friends. Right, that's our shopping chores taken care of. Let's head up past Aetheryte to the main tower. The view I wanted to show you can only be seen from its top. Here are your precious worms. That buys us a trip to the top of the tower, does it not? Glazed wrigglers, you actually brought them! I really shouldn't let you, but just this once, alright? Only once. Never fails, shall we?
Look, over there, where the wall is broken. Do you see what lies beyond? That's what the land became after the light flooded in. An empty white nothingness. Life cannot exist in such conditions. The primordial light would wreak havoc on the body's etheric balance. That nectarine you bought, it's Halric's favorite fruit. Most of the patients, Halric included, survived the attacks of powerful eaters. But their fate was sealed all the same. The monster's corruption has entered their bodies, and their very essence is being subsumed by light. The twisted state of the world itself just makes matters worse. Under normal circumstances, a person's ether naturally tends to equilibrium. But for these poor souls, the opposite is true. Sooner or later, every single one of them will turn. Tesleen and the patients, they all know this. They know what has to be done before the change goes too far, before the eater within takes over. The preferred method is mixing poison into their favorite food. In my time here, I've borne witness to a lot of last meals. I feel just as helpless as before. No matter how hard I fight, it's never enough. But it's a war I mean to wage, nonetheless. Speaking of wars, do you remember how I made you promise not to leave me and then promptly collapsed? Well, let's just say I had a few choice words for the Exarch concerning the timing of his summons. But even if the fault lay with someone else, I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd abandon you on the battlefield. So I swore that I'd make up for my absence there by making a difference here. And that's what keeps me moving forward, even when things seem hopeless. On which note, it's time we headed back. The longer we keep Tesleen waiting, the harder this will be for her.
I'm glad I was able to show you that. When it comes to understanding the catastrophe which befell the Fest, one glimpse of the empty wasteland beyond the wall is worth more than an hour of Urianger's lecturing. And I needed you to know beyond a doubt that Tisleen had no other choice. The nectarine will be a kindness. It isn't just the threat posed to others. When a person becomes an eater, the pain appears to be excruciating. The carers are truly fond of their wards, and would spare them that suffering. It is their way of fighting back against a fate worse than death. You're back. I hope you had a nice time. Did you manage to find a nectarine? Thank you. Alisaie explained why I wanted this, has she? I can see it in your eyes. But we may not need it just yet. I spoke with the others and we decided to keep an eye on Havrik for now. Thanks to you though, if his time does come suddenly, we'll be ready to send him on his way with a taste of happier days. Well, nothing is going to happen for a little while yet, so let's see if we can't lighten the mood. We don't want our gloomy faces worrying the patients. I think it's time for that welcome meal, don't you? Take a seat, and I'll make us a nice stew. Quest accepted. Sit!
Speak up if you'd like another helping. I made a little bit more than usual today.
And you've added something special to the broth, if I'm not mistaken.
Aye, well, it's not often we have visitors from the Crystarium, so I may have thrown in a few extra bits and bobs. Oh, it's nothing, really. And we do so rarely have guests. In a place like this, you learn to take what moments of happiness you can get. I remember when I first came here with my mother. She was showing the early signs. I knew there was no way to save her, but I just couldn't face what needed to be done. That's the way of it for most people. Why they travel from arms to stay here. Beaten, broken souls come to wait out the inevitable, to receive the mercy of a painless death. When my mother finally left this world, I was mad with grief, but also thankful that her passing was a peaceful one. It's never easy, ending a life you've cared for, even when you believe they go on to a better place. I often find myself wishing the Warrior of Darkness would come and do that part for me.
The Warrior of Darkness?
You've never heard the tale? I'm not sure where it began, but every child in Norvrent could tell you a version of it. Warrior of Darkness, servant of death, take care of our souls at our dying breath. Let sinners and eaters of sin go with thee, that all may return to the sunless sea. Well, that's the version I was taught anyway. It's just an old bedtime story. He's certainly never deigned to visit us here.
Which is a good thing, surely. He sounds rather ominous.
Do you think so? I always liked the idea that he treated every soul the same, even the Sin Eaters.
They're coming.
Desleen! Have you seen Halric? I swear, I only took my eyes off him for a moment.
Fabe and Alisaie, we have to look for Alwick. We have to look for Alwick, you guys. Faedwin, Alisaie, we have to go look for Halric. I don't know what's gotten into him, but if he's wandering out there alone. We'll assign search areas and split up. Any idea where he might be headed? No, he's never done anything like this before. But it can't be coincidence that the other patients are suddenly so agitated. They can sense something. In any case, let's keep the search close to the end. Halric isn't very sure on his feet, so he won't have gone far. I'll search the east side. Please, Halric, be alright. I'll cover the north and west then. You take everything from here to the south. You see no sign of Halric. Maybe he went further west. Scan your surroundings in search of Halric and suddenly find yourself under attack.
Any sign of him? No luck then. But he surely can't have gone far. We should keep looking. The Sin Eaters are out in force, and if we don't find him soon, you can be sure they will. Did you see the size of that thing? It must be one of the nasty ones. Wherever it's going, it can only mean trouble. After it!
There it is!
Is that... Oh no!
Halric!
We have to run!
Desleen! No!
We all deserve happiness, wherever we can find it. The time left to you is precious. No one should die in vain. Mother, I...
Whoa! That was cool. I'm sorry, Phaedwin. I tried to tell the carriers what happened, but I can't be the shoulder they lean on. Not like this. It's just so unfair. Desley was always so cheery with the patients, telling them not to be scared, that there wouldn't be any pain. Of all the people in the world to suffer such a fate. Imagine you're just as shocked as the rest of us, so I appreciate what you're doing here. Me, I don't have the words. Without a body, we can't even give her a proper burial. And she cared about that sort of thing. About giving people the chance to say their goodbyes. Alric is as unresponsive as ever. He stands motionless, staring up into the sky where the Sin Eaters made their escape. Thank you. What you're doing, it means a lot to them, to me. Sorry to interrupt. We realized we hadn't thanked you for rescuing Howrick. You weren't hurt at all, were you? Hurt? It wasn't even a fight. I was too late, too slow, and I thought I could protect you. You can't blame yourself for things beyond your control. You brought Howrick back safe and sound. No one could have done any more. I'm sorry, but I've come to a decision. I won't be continuing my role here. I hope you would forgive me for leaving you, and that you would delay Howrick's last meal for as long as you possibly can. Not until it's too late, of course. Just give him the time you can. We always do. Of course. She would have done the same. Farewell, Howrick. Keep Tesleen's words close to your heart. Wait, you're leaving this very moment. I understand how you must feel, but surely this is a bit hasty. Do you even have anywhere to go? I have a destination in mind, yes, and a purpose. This damned light, building without cease, is the reason we can't save those corrupted by the Eaters. But what if we corrected the balance? Even if it were only little by little, even if it took years, it would surely make things better. Now hold on there. Everyone knows there's too much light, but how could you ever hope to get rid of it? You'd have to change the whole world. That's right. We should return to the Crystarium. I may not be able to repel the Eaters on my own, but I can still use skills I have learned here to hurt them. Forgive me, Phaedwin. I couldn't stay there a moment longer. But I was serious about what I said. While the men and women at the end battle against this blight with kindness, I must fight it in my own way, with steel. Miss Alisaie, is there anything I can get you? You're swift to Samaro. I need to return to the Crystarium immediately. As you wish. Remind me to wear goggles if we ever fly over Amarang again. I've barely gotten the sand out of my eyes. The wind did help to clear my head at least. I think I'm ready to meet with this Exarch. We need to talk about how we're going to wipe the Sin Eaters out, shall we? That was a cinematic. Thank you for seeking me out, Phaedwin. It meant a lot to have you there at my side. Look at Alphino, I'd say he's eager to begin this discussion as I am. I say we lay our experiences before the Exarch and step back to see what kind of picture they make. Then we can decide where to go from here.
And so you return. Have you gained a better understanding of the crisis now faced by the First?
Better is not the word I would use. Some lands may have been spared the flood, but the survivors live only to suffer. There seems no end to the horrors inflicted by the Sin Eaters. Indeed. Those abominations are a calamity in their own right. And I can well imagine how hopeless the task of eradicating them must seem to you. But after countless battles and untold sacrifice, we have identified a potential weakness. Sin Eaters are drawn to serve the strongest of their kind, a class of creature we call Lightwardens. And from what we have been able to ascertain, only a handful of these entities exist. Just as an ant colony will perish in the absence of its queen, we believe that the death of a Lightwarden will cause the lesser creatures within its sphere of influence to disperse.
I have a feeling Yulmul might have something to say about any concerted action we take against these monsters. Vorthra's command over the Sin Eaters is integral to Yulmoran society. In seeming to guarantee his people's safety, it guarantees their obedience. He will not take kindly to us depriving him of such useful allies. Agreed. Thus we will need to occupy or otherwise divert his forces whilst we proceed with the business of eliminating the Wardens. Until we have done so, all other considerations must be set aside if we are to forestall the 8th Umbral Calamity. Your uncertainty is understandable, given the circumstances. Perhaps a more detailed explanation is in order. To begin at the beginning, then. In the ancient past, a single star was divided into 14 worlds. This is the source, your home. These others are the 13 shards, in whose number we find the first. Though physically separate, they retain a connection to each other, and with the source especially. Now, let us assume that a given element in one of the shards attains abnormal ascendancy. Just as water will flow from the highest point to the lowest, the excess energy will begin trickling into the source. And such an influx of ether will of course exert a palpable influence. If the element in question were fire, then drought and wildfires might ensue. If it were ice, one might expect the weather to turn bitterly cold. As ether continues to pour in, such phenomena will become more and more extreme, until eventually, a single, untimely event triggers a disaster which cracks the barrier dividing the two worlds. What was once a trickle now becomes a deluge, sweeping the shard along to be rejoined with the source. At the same time, the element which held sway in the shard is unleashed in full, its energies amplifying the original disaster to truly catastrophic proportions. An earthquake thus magnified might strike with enough force to shatter continents. A tidal wave might swell to a size capable of drowning entire nations. These devastating events are what we refer to as umbral calamities. 7 times has a calamity befallen the source. 7 times has a shard been absorbed. present, the light-drowned realm of the First stands perilously close to meeting the conditions for a rejoining. It is the Sin Eaters who are to blame for the Light's continued dominance. In addition to attracting their lesser kin, the Lightwardens I mentioned earlier radiate ether, saturating every corner of their territory with light. Even here in the flood-spared region of Norvrant, their influence is strong enough to banish night from the sky. Thus, if we are to restore balance to the First and head off a potential calamity, it is imperative that we put each and every Lightwarden to the sword.
We've been doing our best to take the fight to the enemy ever since we first heard the Exarch's explanation.
Though we have yet to claim any meaningful victories if truth be told. Apart from being confoundingly elusive, the Lightwardens possess a troublesome quality which compelled us to delay our plans until such time as you arrived.
Forgive the interruption, my lord, but Holminster Switch is requesting reinforcements. They say the Sin Eaters are attacking in force, and the village could soon be overrun.
Alert the guard. We should be prepared in case the fighting reaches the Crystarium. You have command of our forces in the field, Captain, but hold off on entering the town until I arrive. That goes for Alphino and Alisaie as well.
My lord.
Pray, lend us your strength. Such a fight will provide you with far greater insight than any explanation I could offer.
Holminster Switch is in the north of Lakeland, so we'd best make haste with our preparations. In fact, meet me outside the Crystarium at the crossroads northwest of the Extensor Gate, and I shall lead you there myself. Holminster Switch just past these gates and through the woods. It is not exactly a near neighbor to the Crystarium, but as we occupy the same region, we have built up something of a cooperative relationship. What can we expect inside, Captain? The town is beset by a swarm unlike any we have seen in recent years. We did our best to evacuate the villagers, but many as half remain. Judging by the number of eaters present, we have good reason to believe that a Lightwarden leads the attack. How convenient. It seems we'll have our chance to slay a warden sooner than we expected. One does not simply slay a warden. Has no one told you what happens if you defeat one of those fiends? They hold more light inside of them than all their underlings put together. You can leave the particular quandary to us. I must ask the guards stand down and allow us to engage leaders of eaters alone. Concentrate on the survivors. We must save every life we can. But what if... Understood, my lord. As captain of the guard, however, I will not watch you brave such danger without an escort from our ranks. I insist that I go with you. Very well, then our warden slaying party shall include myself, the Leveliers, Captain Lena, and last but not least... a formidable group indeed. Into Holminster we go. Once we reach the Lightwarden, do not hold back. We strike to kill. The instance dungeons encountered in subsequent main scenario quests can be completed solo alongside a supporting party of NPCs. To make use of this feature, simply speak with one of your NPC companions near the entrance to the instance and select the option to form a party. Alternately, you can also select duty support on duty from the main menu or interact with the instance entrance itself. When forming a party, you will need to follow the same role restrictions imposed when using the duty finder. Alternatively, you can find party members via the duty finder as usual, and complete the instance with fellow players instead. So this is the Witch's Road, apparently. No, stop making wardens! The mobs are doing a little more damage than usual. I need to buy some more food. When I worked up all these crafting skills, just because storage space is the way it is, I just started selling off everything. Can you imagine trying to maintain just cooking crafting items? Just like a stack of each item used in cooking. God, how much space would that be? Alright, first boss. This is gonna be a... I was gonna say it's gonna be like a Diorite. Apparently not.
Let's give him a go!
Fucking, I couldn't turn my character.
You underestimate me! Leave the healing to me.
Oh my god. It's those little wedges? Crazy. I wanted to top load that damage a bit, because I didn't know how that was gonna go. I thought it said ditch gremlin. I just found that so fucking funny. Did Lordra finally finish dropping? Oh. I don't know, you tell me. Yes, when I stop streaming it will. Alright, boss battle number 2. Oh, it's Tesleen! Tesleen, 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 Tesleen! I really did not want to fight you, man. The Tickler? You have a name, a move called the Tickler? But I mean, you can all just spread out, right? Doesn't has a loss of reaction. We're doing it, chat! No, no, we're not doing it! Stop running by your friends! I keep trying to match the spells, and it makes me run in that direction. I'm not a bard, I can't do that. Eesh. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Shall we over the searing light? Do I not have a second bar in this fight? Okay. It just didn't manifest in time. Oh, that's a new emblem. Oh, okay. I'm stuck. Save me. You'll never catch me. That was quick. Not sure if you can see my intense face of don't screw this up.
It's releasing its ether! Fall back! We cannot let it touch us! Quickly, my lord, we must withdraw!
That will not be necessary, Captain. Though I appreciate your concern. The eternal light of these creatures has confounded us for nigh on 100 years. For each we have put down, another has risen up in its place, born of the self-same ether relinquished by its predecessor. But now we have a way to contain that corruption. The blessing of light, and the hero who wields it now stands before you. Behold! The monster's power is broken, and the world, twisted by its touch, returns to its rightful form.
It's so beautiful.
The sunless sea. The warrior of darkness has come.
Is that what I think it is?
The night sky. As it should be.
Who are you people? You... My lord?
How many years have I waited for this moment? For the one possessed of her blessing. For you. You have vanquished the Lightwarden of Lakeland, and for the first time in a century, darkness has returned to the mantle of night. Without the ever-present light to sustain them, the Sin-Eaters will have no choice but to retreat. Yet our victory is far from complete. Though darkness has fallen here, the other Wardens yet bask beneath burning skies, feasting upon what little life remains. Even should it cost me all I have, I would see each and every one of them slain, that this world might be spared from oblivion. Not only for the first, but for the source as well. Save one, and we save the other. But, be that as it may, I concede it was wrong of me to summon you to this fight against your will. I swear, on my life, I will one day atone for that deed, but for the present, I beg you stay and see this fight to its conclusion. Cast down the Wardens, and restore darkness to the first. On behalf of the First, I offer you my deepest thanks.
I understand there is much at stake here, Exarch, but why do you risk yourself so readily? It must have been a dangerous drain on your ether to summon even one person across the rift.
I do it for my people, of course. To give the Crystarium the tomorrow it deserves.
That is true now, yes, but the city had yet to be built when you first called forth the Crystal Tower. I'm simply curious to know what prompted you to commit yourself so completely to this particular course.
There are things which we can ill afford to lose. And I sensed from the first that I had a part to play in preserving them. Forgive me. I fear the events of the day may have taken their toll. Despite appearances, I am an old man. One burdened with many difficult memories, some too painful to recall.
Well then, I'm sorry for pressing you. It's a family failing, I'm afraid.
One which has served us well more often than not. Needless to say, we will continue to fight at your side until the last Sin Eater is defeated.
Come then, my warriors of darkness. Let us gather the surviving villagers and make our way back to the Crystarium.
How quickly you have justified my faith in you. So many lives saved, and the sky itself heralds your success. A single victory in a larger struggle, perhaps, but a momentous one nonetheless. Now, as for how to proceed from here. The villages we evacuated earlier have arrived safely in the Crystarium. They seem to be accepting the situation for the moment. Most folk are far too distracted by the sky to worry about wounds or lost homes. They whisper and wonder if the warrior of darkness has come. 'Tis to be expected. Ffxiv, I must ask a favor of you. Would you be so kind as to conceal your involvement in this endeavor for the time being? Seeing the light recede from Lakeland is a momentous occasion, and many will be swept up in a maelstrom of excitement and confusion. Should you come forth as a legendary warrior of darkness, I fear that no matter how good your intentions, such an appearance would throw the city into disarray. I find myself in agreement with the Exarch, although my concerns are more focused on you, Lord. It may be best if you maintain a low profile until we see how Vothery responds to all of this. My thanks. Though we cannot freely celebrate your success, pray allow your heart to be buoyed by the joy of our citizens, a joy you surely brought into being. Ah, and I must ask the same discretion of you, Captain. It is my intention to share with our people the tale of a warrior who stood in defiance of the Sin Eaters. This unnamed champion defeated the Lightwarden, and has since departed for parts unknown, yes? As you wish, my lord. Your penchant for mystery is nothing new, and I will encourage folk not to question this either. Although I expect to be told the whole truth of it one day. About all of you. With that settled, I shall return to the Crystarium and make an address to the people. These explanations and adjustments will consume much of my time, so pray take the opportunity to rest and recover from your exploits. And to think, you not even need to shutter the windows to enjoy a dark and peaceful night's sleep. I must stay behind and coordinate the evacuation of the remaining survivors. And I hesitate to ask that after all you've done today, but could I ask you to pass on a message on your way to the pendants? Please let Bragi know that we bring in a number of injured, that any restoratives in the markets need to be reserved from the infirmary. We should start making our own way back to the Crystarium. Slowly, mind you. It wouldn't do to arrive too soon after the Exarch. I'm staying behind as well. There's something I need to check on in Holminster. We already went through the village top to bottom, Alisaie. We should take all the chance to rest, you included. I knew one of those eaters, and I just can't rest, not now. So please, I wish to be left alone for a while. That means you as well, Fatewen. I shall be cross if you try to follow me. I promise to find you later, when I feel myself again. Just you and me then, shall we? Well, the Crystarium seems relatively ordered, wouldn't you say? The Exarch's speech must have been reassuring to hear. On the contrary, there's something jubilant in the air. I have a feeling this night won't be quite as peaceful as our hooded friend predicted. I think I should take a brief stroll around town before retiring to my chambers. Once you've discharged your duty to Bragi, I suggest you do the same. Sleep well, Fatewen. I hope untroubled dreams find you and Alisaie both. Aye, what can I do for you? Looking to buy a lantern like every other stumbling soul in the city? I see. Well, Captain Lana can rest assured that any potions I spot coming in will be set aside for the wounded. Hang on a moment. If you're carrying messages for the guard, does that mean you were there then? The Battle of Holminster. A stalwart lass like you might want to pay a visit to the Wandering Stairs, make herself known. Dr. Glenard can introduce you to some interesting opportunities. What's that mean? Glenard. Where you at, Glenard? They really want you to view this from all angles. Saddle more beer for table 2, and a couple of pints of mead for table 3 while you're at it. Coming right up. Sorry, we rushed off our feet this evening, miss. Can I get you anything? Drinks are on the house. Well, that braggy has a twisted sense of humor. To think he'd send you to be at a time like this. The first real night in near 100 years as folk all riled up and then some. What's more, there was that eater business at Holminster Switch. They say a Lightwarden was destroyed without a damn trace, and it was a warrior of darkness who did the deed. Really must apologize for Glenard. He's been almost as rowdy as our customers, and that's no small feat. A lot of our regulars are bounty hunters, you see. They mostly go after eaters, and the rumor of the warrior's appearance was the spark to their kindling. You know how the weak eaters are drawn to the strong ones, right? They swarm like angry bees around a queen. You need look no further than Holminster for proof of that. But attacks on that scale don't happen every day, praise the blessed Shadow. No, the more common threats are the strays. No one knows why, but every now and again, the Eater will leave the pack to prowl alone. Those are the ones you run into on the road if your luck is foul. They're a danger to everyone, so the Settlement Council puts bounties on their heads, and our bar here is a convenient place for hunters to gather and share information. Seems a few of them were inspired by the Warden slaying, even more than most. Even more than most. These are the types who have the sights set on the absolute worst of the strays. Class of eaters that have been dubbed the Cardinal Virtues. The Virtues showed up out of nowhere about 3 summers ago, when historians heard the descriptions given by survivors. Well, apparently they share an appearance with the villains who caused the flood. If that doesn't send a chill down your spine, they're also reported to be as tough as Lightwardens, not the kind of prey you could take down single-handed. Our virtue hunters had all but given up, but knowing the warrior of darkness is out there has lit a fire in their bellies. Just look at them. That Hume over there with the oversized sword is Branson. He's in it for revenge. Wants to recruit a comrade in arms as tenacious as he. The missile lad is Lurik. Don't be fooled by those dewy cheeks. He's as hard a hunter as they come. He just lost a partner and seems to be on the lookout for a new one. That's Sari. Word is he seeks an expert in magecraft to help fight the virtue he's after. Last we have got... Dwarf and drunkard both. Wanted to join forces with a healer, and only a healer. Something about needing a mentor's wisdom. I've seen a share of my competent veterans. You have that look about you. Maybe you should introduce yourself to one of our hunters. Who knows? Together you might even collect the bounty on a Cardinal Virtue. There's a grand idea. Imagine the prestige my bar would earn if we boast the patronage of a successful virtue hunter. You've gained access to Roll Quests, a separate quest line and stories now available for tank, physical DPS, magical range DPS, and healer roles. In order to reach the final stages of the Shadowbringers main scenario, you must complete at least one roll quest line. Speak with the Virtue Hunter at the Wandering Stairs to accept a quest offer. Yeah. that little dude's name was Gyat! So sorry. Welcome back, miss. I wonder if anyone can sleep with the city in such an uproar, but we'll be retiring for due quarters. I'm not so... Very good. In light of our present situation, I've had illumination prepared for all of our rooms. No need to rush to the markets for lanterns or candles. Have a pleasant rest, miss.
So it's your lot's turn to be the Warriors of Darkness, is it? It's funny how things work out. Hi, I know. Just the place. In case you've forgotten, you're the only one who can see me. If we had one of our little chats in public, people might start thinking you'd lost your wits. Those white-haired twins who were with you. I remember them from our battle in the Source. Are they your friends then? Through thick and thin? Aye. Then I suggest you keep them close. It's when you charge ahead trying to save someone else that you end up losing those you love. Not that you need telling, I'll bet you've lost plenty. But I wonder, what will it cost you this time? I don't remember when it was that I learned regret wasn't worth the bother. You get numb to it all over the years. The lost comrades, the broken promises, the abandoned principles. Just more nagging burdens to ignore.
So this is what the light was hiding. She's here. I must go to her.
Meanwhile, inside an Imperial Magitech facility in the Source.
Intruders! Fan out and find them! Out of my way!
Stay your weapon. We are not your enemy. When the alarm sounded, I wondered what we had done to betray our presence. But I see now we are not the only intruders. Sir Estinian, I presume. The dragoon who plucked the Warrior of Light from the jaws of death? Your armor is most distinct.
Much as yours once was. But even without it, I see a former legator still has eyes and ears in unexpected places. Van Baelsar, in the flesh. Though I understand you prefer Shadow Hunter.
You are in contact with the Scions, I take it.
Through no choice of my own, they tracked me down and conscripted me to their cause. I swear their receptionist was trained as a spy. Not that anyone can escape that Baldessian woman once she has caught the scent of your ether.
If they have resorted to using freelancers, I must assume their attempts to wake the afflicted have failed. And what of their champion?
Away on other business. Thus, it has fallen to me to root out any trace of the Empire's new weapon.
If it is Black Rose you seek, you are too late. My people have already completed your mission here. Yet this is but one factory among many. When they caught wind of our efforts, they built additional facilities to ensure production continues unabated. There will be no one left in the lands they conquer. No citizens to conscript. No skills to exploit. Nothing the Empire needs. And they will call it victory.
What exactly does this Black Rose do?
The gas is described as a poison, but its actual effect is more arcane in nature. It was created to disrupt the ether in living beings, to bring the flow of their life energies to a standstill. Inhaling even the tiniest amount will cause all bodily functions to cease, much as a potent venom will stop a man's heart. Released over a city, Black Rose could conceivably kill every inhabitant, and all without damaging a single structure.
Search every corner! Rouse the barracks if you have to! I want this facility secured!
I have more questions, but now is not the time.
Sir Estinian, I have an offer for you, but I will make it only once. Since it would seem we seek the same answers, you are welcome to join us.
Ha! From what I hear, you need all the help you can get. In case you don't know, Varys himself confessed that your empire was a creation of the Ascians.
I am aware of what his Radiance said at the parley. Thus I would return to the capital, that I might behold the truth of this corruption with my own eyes. My path leads to Garlemald,